Did you know that over a century ago, American collegiate athletes staged a clandestine rebellion, one that would forever change the rules of amateur sports? At the 1879 Intercollegiate Games in New York, Yale sprinter Edward Merritt devised an ingenious scheme. He lined his socks with forged silk tickets and secretly sold them to fund his training. This scandalous act, hidden away in Ivy League archives, shocked his competitors and sparked the formation of the AAU in 1887. What does this secret ticket mill tell us about the origins of modern athletic amateurism, and will it challenge everything you thought you knew about sports? Hello everyone, I'm Robert, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm diving into a remarkable piece of sports history, the amateurism rebellion of 1879. I've always been fascinated by the intersection of rules and rebellion in sports, and Edward Merritt's story is one of the quirkiest examples of ingenious defiance. In this video, you'll discover how a Yale sprinter's crafty ticket mill not only funded his training, but also shook the very foundation of college athletics. You'll learn about the intricate details behind his forged silk tickets, techniques that remain almost mythical in the world of sports history, and how this early act of defiance fueled a conflict between athlete welfare and strict amateur ideals that still resonates today. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into history's hidden stories. Let's get started. Let's set the stage by understanding the era and environment of collegiate sports in the late 19th century. First, the college sports landscape was wildly different from today. Colleges hosted intercollegiate games as major social events where athletic prowess was celebrated. However, many athletes like Edward Merritt faced immense financial pressure without institutional support, often leading them to take creative and sometimes illicit measures. Next, consider the rise of amateurism. Athletes competed for honor, not money. Yet few realized that ambiguous rules left loopholes. Merritt exploited these gaps in a system not yet robustly regulated, a move that shocked many of his peers. The exposure of his ticket mill provided raw motivation for future reforms. Rival colleges eventually discovered his scheme, igniting debates about fair play that would later shape regulations for the newly established AAU in 1887. Each of these points reminds us, sometimes even the smallest act of defiance can ignite monumental change. Now let's take a closer look at the ingenious techniques Edward Merritt employed and why they still fascinate sports historians today. First, consider the art of forging silk tickets. Silk was a luxury material, so forging tickets with a silk lining made them appear genuine, a clever ruse intended to fool spectators and officials alike. Imagine the texture of the fabric, the subtle gleam under the stadium lights, and the risk behind each ticket printed in haste. As Dr. Jonathan Reeves, a sports history expert, once noted, this wasn't just counterfeiting. It was a bold, innovative stance against the rigidity of amateur sports. Next, think about the ticket mill itself. While it's well known that athletes needed funds to support their training, in Merritt's case, hints of a systematic microeconomy emerged through his clever operation. Picture a secret system where each sock became a money-making machine, with whispered instructions and hidden notes that kept his competitors in the dark. This pioneering technique predated formal sponsorships and can be seen as an early form of athletic entrepreneurship. Lastly, consider the subtle art of deception. Beyond the act of forging, it was Merritt's precise timing and clever anonymity that allowed him to slip under the radar. Imagine a crowded 1879 arena, where the excitement provided a perfect cover for executing a meticulously planned scam. This approach exposed vulnerabilities in the governance of sports and pressured institutions to tighten control over athlete compensation. Can you imagine the adrenaline rush of executing such a high-stakes deception in front of an entire crowd? The legacy of the 1879 rebellion extends far beyond a single scandal. It touches on a larger cultural narrative about fairness, ingenuity, and the human spirit. The birth of modern amateur ideals was met with anger and a call for control, yet Merritt's actions forced leaders to acknowledge the financial realities of athletic competition. His story shows that sometimes rebellions, even when ethically ambiguous, can catalyze necessary reform, sparking debates that continue to impact how athletes are supported today. Moreover, consider the evolution from secretive high-risk schemes to today's open discussions about athlete compensation. Merritt's underground tactics resonate with modern struggles. How do we honor tradition while meeting real-world needs? This historical episode reminds us that behind every rule, there's a human story striving to be told. What modern-day challenges in sports remind you of Merritt's bold bets against a system built on idealism? Let's recap what we've uncovered today. We've journeyed through the secretive world of Edward Merritt and the ingenious ticket mill that rocked collegiate sports. We learned about the creative techniques he used to defy strict amateurism and how this pivotal moment eventually paved the way for the AAU and more regulated competition. Reflecting on this story highlights the constant tension between tradition and innovation, and the courage it takes to challenge the status quo. For me, it's a profound lesson on resilience. Even when faced with formidable challenges, athletes and innovators find creative ways to overcome obstacles. How do you see the struggle between idealism and practicality playing out in today's sports world? As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, and don't forget to subscribe for more historical insights. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep questioning and exploring the untold stories behind our greatest traditions.